We're live today drawing with Robzilla and Jennet Liaw. Super talented people. Very different drawing styles.
Very different.
Very different.
So we'll see what happens.
I know. Do you guys know what you're drawing today?
No.
All right.
Oh, see, we have that in common.
No idea.
Cool. Well, we are here today, and should we get started? Let's see, Rob, what tools are you using today to draw?
I'm using an iPad Pro, Apple Pencil, and Adobe Draw.
Nice. And draw is vector.
Oh yes, all day. Vector all day.
Scale it as big as the building. And Jennet, what are you using today? Do you know?
I kind of have all my usual tools in front of me and then, just see what happens. I feel like if I have everything here, things will just come up, so.
Awesome. And, this microphone is in my eyesight, but yeah. Hey, everyone. We've gotten a lot of shout-outs here.
Yeah.
Rob, you're kind of like an old-timer at this one.
Yeah.
And Jennet, this is your first time?
This is my first time.
Yay! Welcome,
I'm
Jennet.
so excited.
Awesome. Well, should we get started? Rob, you've got some monkeys pulled up here. Apes or chimpanzees, whatever they are.
Got some chimps. I got a weird idea about reversing Darwin's theory of evolution, my bad.
Nice.
And I might play around. I might monkey around today a little bit.
Ooh.
So I don't know yet.
All right. And Jennet, are we doing some hand lettering or illustrations or?
I'm thinking illustration, maybe some type worked in there, but
Nice.
all I'm coming armed with today is just a little overheard quote.
Ooh, what's
Yeah.
the quote?
It's a very uninspirational, but it usually work off of things I hear from conversations and passersby that don't really make sense to me, but they do speak to either some snarky comment about the social landscape or something.
Awesome.
So I just heard someone say together forever or whatever. So
That's awesome.
something struck a chord there. So I'm gonna just work
I like
off of
it. Cool. Hey, everyone. We've got a lot of shout outs. We've got someone from Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo, Brazil, Germany. Someone's drawing a gorilla, Texas. All right. You've got your little snap. I guess we can't see your screen, but you've got your little snap thing pulled up.
Yeah, because earlier
I like that. I actually, Jennet and I were hanging out last week? Two weeks ago.
Yeah, on campus or
Yeah.
at Nike.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
Jennet
thanks for
works at
visiting.
Nike, and we went and saw her. And she showed us this really dope this snapping illustration.
My screen is live. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of into this, I've been into distilling my images and kind of just doing, really minimal stuff and amateur animation, so this is, a pretty good example of that, I guess. But we were just testing out the printer earlier, and this is the thing I had on hand, so.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, should we get started?
Whoa, the build-up is real.
Yeah.
We're just kind of sitting here
It's
waiting
serious.
around.
Yeah. So how about this weather?
Yeah.
I'm trying to stall until my Apple Pencil charges.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
so-
I thought you were just, hanging out, looking at chimpanzees.
trying to play it cool a little bit. Not trying to panic because the Apple Pencil is dead.
Yeah.
Same.
And we're all just, sweating bullets here.
There should be
it
a
is
live,
million
icon
degrees.
of, how hot it is, just, on the top left of your screen.
Yeah. And I think anyone who is drawing alongside of us today, we're using, Adobe Live hashtag? Yeah. So post your stuff using the Adobe Live hashtag. Some of you guys were probably here as we were watching Kyle over the past couple of hours. He was doing some pretty awesome sneaks in Sketch using Photoshop brushes. That was pretty awesome. But yeah, be sure to post your work using hashtag Adobe Live on Behance, Twitter, wherever it is. And then we'll be reviewing some later on in the show. So Jennet, what's your process generally?
I would say that I feel like my process is the lack of a process. I love the idea of having a certain tool set open every time and kind of first I spend 10 minutes doing this and then I vector it and then maybe I pull into Photoshop, but every time it's different because I think it depends on the idea. So that's why I'm really not sure what's going to happen today, but I think that's the fun of it. So I think I'm going to start today with I want to illustrate some hands. So I'm probably going to ask you for your help just to
Sounds good.
A lot of my process starts with sketching and then taking a photo of my iPhone and then sending it to myself. So
we can do that. Is it okay if I move this microphone down just a little bit?
Sure.
Because I'm having trouble seeing the screen.
Yep.
Oh shit.
Cool.
Sorry, Joseph. Thanks.
Oh yeah, someone said hi. Yeah. Cool.
Pollyanna in the house.
Yeah.
Hey, Pollyanna.
Hey, Polly.
You know, I like you said that you have no process because I think that that's what Kyle said too. I heard Kyle say that. He's
I
like,
pointed at him
my
when he said
process
that.
is no
I
process.
was like, you and me. Together with no plan.
Awesome. Terry's there.
Terry White.
Who's-
Hey,
Rob,
Terry.
I noticed I travel with my Apple Pencil in the same bag as my iPad Pro. It loses charge. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
I know. I feel like I'm forever charging my pencil. I always I love the, what is it? Like it you can plug it in for like 15 seconds or 30 seconds and it gets a bunch of charge, but I feel like I'm always just doing that. Like, it's going to die. It's going to die.
Do you ever stick it in your iPhone?
I don't.
People are always...
It's like selfie.
You can do that
stick
too, but it
mode.
looks ridiculous. 'Cause
I
you're
know.
just
It
like,
charges that way?
Yeah.
Oh, I could have, yeah.
My only pro tip today.
Yeah.
So should we do pro tips first?
Yeah. Pro tips.
Pro tips.
Okay.
A calligrapher from the UK who currently uses iPad Pro put me on to screen protectors and how they can add a drag to your tip as though you're actually drawing on paper and the tooth of the paper is kind of like picked up. So I picked up a few of those and now it doesn't really feel like I'm ice skating anymore, so to speak.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you because I feel like I hear that's the number one thing. You know, the number one thing that people are like, oh, I don't want to switch to the iPad. I like my Cintiq because I have the drag and it feels like I'm doing sort of like traditional drawing. And do you feel like you're back to that with the protector?
Well, it's a change. I've been ice skating for a minute, Cristiano Magucci, but it's a different change. Once I did put it on there, I can notice a difference. So I can kind of like control what I'm doing a little bit better.
Yeah. Someone's asking what brand it is or where you get it or how you.
We're allowed to plug?
I don't know. Are we? I said people are asking. I'd say go.
Tech Armor.
Tech Armor.
Yeah. Get the one that's fingerprint and glare, anti-fingerprint and glare, and it works out fine.
Yeah. Someone's saying yeah. We've got a lot of people agreeing with you. Matte protectors are the best.
Yeah. And they look dope.
Yeah. So Aaron's saying, I'm strictly desktop and laptop. Do you love the iPad for design or is it just meh?
I've been drawing on this thing for so long that it's a huge part of my process now. So if I was to take it away, you know, it would leave a big empty void there when it comes to drawing on it. But I mean, comes to creating. But it changed the way that I've been creating now for the last 5 years.
Wow.
I think it's been 5 years.
That's awesome.
I bought that right after you told me about it.
The
Oh, you
screen
got it?
protector?
Yeah, because that was the one thing
Yeah.
that was like, as a bridge from not drawing, I'm not like used to drawing on a glass surface. That was probably the biggest thing
Yeah.
that I was actually like, ooh, this doesn't
Yeah.
feel intuitive. But
So here's a little fun fact. Rob, Jenette, and I all met about a year ago, actually, in New York.
happy anniversary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were at a Make It On Mobile event. And was that, Jenette, was that your first time using the iPad for any sort of...
Definitely. Yes.
And now you, like, carry this thing
I used to
around.
use it for Netflix, and that was about it. Now it's like, it's literally an extension of my body, so.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was my first time too. Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink.
So talented.
Nice. So Rhiannon's asking what tools we're using, and just to reiterate, Rob is using Adobe Draw. It's a free vector drawing app for the iPad, the iPhone, and as well as your Android devices. And then Jeanette's going to be using a combination. Right now she has Illustrator pulled open, but maybe using your iPad.
Yeah, I think I'm going to use all three, like my phone, my iPad, and my computer. sounds more exciting than it is.
Get
Yeah.
busy.
It's just whatever gets that flow going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Sights and the Sounds is asking, let's ask this question for both of you. Did you use sketchbooks as part of your process before the iPad, or do you only sketch now because you have the iPad?
I
You wanna go
definitely like sketchbooks were key. I feel like I can't think in pixels no matter, like, I've been working so long on a computer, but something about just sketchbook is like when the real ideas come up, and then pixels and vectors are like the execution part. So yeah.
For me, I tried sketchbooks. I did better on loose pieces of paper. I couldn't have it organized in one spot because it added too much pressure on how the finished product will have to look within there. So I would go through a ream of paper in like a month. So my mom's, shout out to my mother. My mom's used to go and just like straight up get paper from work to keep me from using all my paper for school. So
nice. Now I see that you have the setup. You've kind of got this like tilted thing. Is this your setup, or is this? Do you draw to having it tilted up, or was this forced upon you for today?
I'm used to using a pillow in my lap.
Oh, really?
But of course, I don't want y'all aiming that low with the cameras. So there's some good guys over at Elevation Lab who allow me to beta test a draft table for the iPad Pro, and it's exactly what I got, and it's kind of neat. Yeah, got. Is
that what this is?
Yeah, I got this nice little cushiony thing for my wrist. Like whenever I draw for a long period of time, got a holder for the Apple Pencil. So just in case, like, my two sons start fighting, I can put that down and run over, break them up.
Take care of business.
Yeah, and basically come back. And
that's awesome.
Do a couple of yells at them, like, stop it right now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's cool. Yeah, it kind of reminds me, Microsoft just put out a Surface Studio, and it's that giant, gorgeous screen, and it does the tilt thing.
I used it.
Yeah. Someone's asking if you've ever tried using the iPad Pro as a second screen, which means you can use the pencil for Illustrator. And I think there is. Do either of you use AstroPad?
I use the beta.
Yeah.
AstroPad changes or transforms your iPad Pro into a Cintiq, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I know. I was talking to some illustration students at SVA last week, and a lot of them are using that for Photoshop. They'll use AstroPad as like instead of a Cintiq because they're so heavy to carry around. But I have to do a shameless plug since I'm the designer for Sketch and Draw. You should be using Sketch and Draw.
Yes.
Now, Jenette, you were over here taking some pictures of your hand.
So I was up all night because I really wanted to attach that quote to something visual, and I just kept thinking about like hand gestures and like what they can mean, and I just like had this thought that I hope will work, but it's like when you make a promise like together forever, but then when you do it with someone else, this is like totally in my head, I have no idea if it's gonna work or not. It kind of like makes so when you're like these kids like whatevers. So we're gonna see if like the shapes kind of come together and it has like a double meaning. So awesome. I was like just
I'm excited.
Narcissistically taking pictures of my own hand. I'm going to ask you to jump in, like, and maybe help me.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we can
yeah,
get
for sure.
People.
Cool. And again, just a reminder, make sure if you're drawing along with Rob and Jenette today, that use the hashtag Adobe Live. If you're using a mobile device like Rob is doing, the iPad, if you're designing on mobile, use hashtag Make It on Mobile too.
Make it.
Make it.
Make it with us.
Cool. It looks like we've got some drawings up on the screen. Oh my gosh, these are amazing. Look at that from Draw.
Oh, it's dope.
That's incredible.
I
That's
need to go
awesome. These are awesome, you guys.
Faces are dope.
Yeah, these are super rad. So keep posting. We've got this Adobe Live hashtag that will be showing off some illustrations. This is awesome. You guys are incredible. All right, so we've got this. Is this a chimpanzee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going to happen with him just yet, but I'm just laying down foundation work.
Nice.
So I don't have to rely totally on the photograph, but I know we got a limited amount of time.
Yeah. So this is really cool to watch your process. So I've seen a lot of the end stuff that Rob does. You just did a full you illustrated the entire Wizards team, didn't you, recently?
Yes.
Those were awesome.
Go Wiz kids.
I mean, everything Rob does is awesome, but that was pretty cool.
That was a fun project. I only had like 2 weeks to do it.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I had to complete as a matter of fact, the last 3 I did after I landed for Max this year. That was when I did the last 3 in the hotel room.
Wow.
I'm sweating bullets.
Crazy, man.
Yeah.
So Jenny is asking what is the difference between Sketch and Draw. And Draw is a vector drawing tool, which means that all of the paths are editable. You can send it to Illustrator and you get all the Bezier, or not the Bezier, you get all the paths from your line work. And Sketch is a raster drawing program. And so you have all the sort of the natural media texture of a Photoshop. And you can actually use your Photoshop brushes. If you were watching this morning, not too long ago, Kyle Webster was on, and he was showing you a sneak preview of how you can import all of your Photoshop brushes, any single Photoshop brush you own, into Sketch, which is pretty awesome.
The mad scientist.
Yeah. I've heard that people prefer actually using their Photoshop brushes with the Apple Pencil and Adobe Sketch over Photoshop. Not everyone, but quite a few people actually.
When's that coming to Draw?
When is that coming to Draw? You want to use your Photoshop brushes in Draw?
I want to use some. I want to create some brushes for Vector.
Well, I cannot confirm nor deny anything.
NDA.
This is live.
Yeah.
I need to reconnect my pencil. It's like not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So I'm curious, those of you on the chat, do any of you guys use the iPad for drawing and painting? And if so, what do you like the most about it? Let's see what people put in the chat. Cool. Oh, someone said that they were updating their Adobe products and got a message for this live stream. That's awesome. Well, thanks for joining. Bonnie and Clyde. Nice. I like the username. Thanks for joining. We're excited to have you here. Someone's asking about David Macy, if he's popping out. If he's going to pop into the picture.
You never know.
And for those of you who are drawing live with us today, go ahead and use the hashtag Adobe Live. If you're doing anything on mobile, use the hashtag MakeItOnMobile. Post it to Behance, post it to Twitter, post it wherever you want to post it, Instagram. And we're going to be featuring some of these, what you guys are doing a little bit later. So Rob, tell us a little bit about your process. You're kind of like, you bring in a photo for reference, and you're kind of drawing over it, and you're kind of making it your own style.
Yeah. My number one rule is don't let the photograph dictate exactly what you want to do. In a time crunch or anything like that, what I like to do is I want to give the client quality work as if I'm hand drawing it. But let's say they don't have the budget or they don't have the time for me to go through that whole entire process. I'll bring a photo, I'll lay down the foundation of what it is I want to draw, and usually in blue line, and then I'll ink over it and then just transform it into exactly what I want. So right now, I think I want to get a little gangster with this chimp and, put a bandana going across
Nice.
the bottom portion of his face, which is going to expose. You ever seen the human skeleton bandanas?
Yep.
Which will expose like the human skeleton underneath, and then just play around with some directional lines and everything. Mm-hmm. Maybe add 2 bananas in the back of his head.
Nice.
Like skull and crossbones.
Yeah. So you're saying you were saying never let the photo dictate the drawing. That's got to be a little bit hard to get around, right? Because you're kind of drawing over the photo. Do you have any tips for that?
Don't change the way that you're actually doing something. Mm-hmm. That's the best tip I can give you. If you normally draw in a certain way, because when I normally draw, it's very rough lines like this. Mm-hmm. When I'm just drawing freehand, but I'm not going.
You're not actually tracing everything.
Yeah, I'm not tracing everything and zooming in, even though you can get some great zooms in here.
Yeah, you guys check that out. This is vector, so you can see that like nothing is pixelated. Yeah. And I think that's the beauty of vector, right?
None of these lines pixelate, and that's because right now y'all added the value in the corner, so that's at 64.
6,400%.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's sharp. It's so sharp. It's so sharp.
Cool. So it looks like a lot of you guys are drawing on the iPad. Someone's using Capture. Shout out to Capture. Do you ever use Capture?
Yes. I did some work for NASCAR, and their fire suits got crazy logos all over them. And Capture saved my life because I was able to go in, create a stamp of that logo. So when I export it into Illustrator, I can use the warp mesh
Yep.
and just bend that logo onto their fire suits
Yeah.
as if it was on there. So
Yeah. So Capture is another free mobile app from Adobe that you can actually just take a picture of something and capture. It's essentially like Live Trace in Illustrator. It puts out a vector format, which is pretty awesome. You can pull it right in here. Let's take a look at Jennet. Her hand's up on the screen. Now you're using Adobe Sketch
Yeah.
instead of Draw. Is there any reason why you choose that one versus
For this
Vector?
particular thing, yeah, because I think what I'm doing is figure out what the plan is. And so far, I think a good way to go about this particular illustration is probably to sketch it out so I have like a rough line for me to look at. It's not necessarily for like the final. And then figure out which parts of those lines I want to keep in the final vector. And then I'll pull it into Illustrator so I can really use those anchor points and know where my points are and create smooth lines. So this is kind of just like me testing it out, though.
So you're you're kind of keeping it sketchy and loose and
Exactly.
in Sketch.
Basically the way that I think a lot of us are used to in our sketchbooks. So we're not like committing to any hard lines or anything just yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. I like it. I always find it so interesting why people choose to use one over the other. Now, Rob, he's kind of using the same sketching, but it's all in vector. Do you throw away your sort of like sketchy lines then? Do you delete those layers or?
yeah, sometimes, or I'll duplicate the whole entire thing, and for the one that I'm turning in, I will delete it, but I'll keep like a copy just in case I want to go back and rework the line work. What I try to do is leave breadcrumbs whenever I do work, so that if I have to go back through my whole process and do something different, it doesn't take me all the way out of the way of what it is, or the bottom line, which is the deadline. So leave breadcrumbs so that way if the client was like, well, you know what, we're not feeling the line work here. Could you go back in and could you do this? Or could you go back in and could you do that?
We've got Jack saying, is Sketch or Draw only available for mobile exclusively? And right now, yeah, it is. You can get it on your iPhone, your iPad, any Android device. You can actually use it on your Chromebook if you set your Chromebook to open Android apps, which is pretty rad, I think.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah. So.
I'm doing a bunch of undos.
Oh, someone's telling me that the chair is giving me a football player silhouette.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Broad shoulders.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh,
Hey, everyone.
Here comes David
are you?
Macy.
I told you, he pops out of
If
everywhere.
we're asking for him.
Yeah, John Harmon keeps saying, David, you should get up there. So I got to get up here and talk about something, I guess. Rob, I
Celebrity
actually wanted to
appearance.
ask you a couple things.
Go.
One thing is I noticed that you're using this two-finger swipe gesture a lot. Can you tell people about that?
Two-finger swipe. To the left,
Yeah.
undos.
Yeah.
To the right, redos. And that's old school Adobe. That's old school Adobe Ideas type gestures. When they started beefing up Adobe Ideas and putting it on steroids, that was one of the little things that came in there. So I was able to work with two hands at the same time, which was cool.
Yeah, so when you're watching on the stream and you see Rob doing the sketching in the pink and then quickly undoing, that's the gesture he's using.
Yeah.
But the other thing I wanted to ask, later on, are you going to get into showing, there was a technique that you showed at Max with blend modes and layers and changing the opacity on layers to create the shadows?
To create the shadows, yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Look forward to seeing it.
It's gonna be special.
All right, John, that was just for you.
Yeah.
Who's John? Who's John?
John Harmon was asking me to jump up here and get in the stream somehow. So that's for you, John.
Shout out to Terrence Stone.
He's a great artist. You should check him out.
Yeah.
Oh,
So we have someone asking for both of you. I'll start with Jennet. How would you say that you incorporate Sketch and Draw into your design process percentage-wise? That's kind of an interesting question.
12.36%. I don't know.
Very specific. I like it.
How much would I? It really depends on the project, but I would say more and more. I mean, I started using it literally about a year ago, and it's been like a steady, because I'll like realize, you have like muscle memory with things like on your laptop, but then it's like, oh wait, I could have just like stayed in Sketch or Draw.
Right.
So it varies, but I would say like, especially with all the updates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
realize you can do more on this. So
Yeah,
I'd
you
say
can.
that I'm really optimistic about using it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I can't put a percentage. Numbers scare me.
Yeah. So you'd say it's on more of a per project basis, like what you need to do.
Totally, but I'll say definitely more than I thought. I was a skeptic.
She was
Hard
skeptic. We're converting her.
Open-minded.
So Mel says, I love brushes for landscape and paintings and sketch, but I find myself using Draw at work more and more. Very cool. I like that. So Rob, you're like 100%, aren't you? Almost
85 to 100.
That's pretty nuts.
I'll go in and do color correction. Especially if you're working with brands. You're like, that's the wrong red.
Yeah. You got to change it. Make some tweaks.
Got to change it. So, or if I want to add gradients. Ooh, gradients.
Yeah.
Gradients.
That's a thought.
Yeah, it is.
So Pollyanna's asking, hey Jenette, how did you reflect your hand illustration? Did you duplicate the layer?
Yes, I did, Pollyanna. That's exactly what I did. And
I know, I was going to say, I looked down and you were like just drawing one, and all of a sudden I looked down and there's two.
Yeah. So now what I'm doing is, because I kind of said earlier I wanted to try to see if a W would like take shape, hopefully between that like promise finger motion. I don't know if there's a name for that. So I'm using the cyan color on another layer, and basically I took down the opacity of, or I meant to do on another layer, but I was distracted. I took down the opacity of the red layer, and then so that I could see more clearly the next layer up, if that makes sense. And now you can kind of see like it's kind of working. So then I know when I take it into Illustrator what to focus on. Maybe I'll make those lines bolder so the intent comes through. I'm like, fingers crossed, everything.
It's
right
kind
now.
of cool. You guys are kind of doing the opposite. So Jenette was sketching in red, and Rob was sketching in like this blue-green color, and now you're kind of flip-flopping. You've got sort of like this pinky red color, and you're going over it in the cyan.
There's a reason why we're on at the same time.
I don't know.
Okay, so I was just checking if that would work. Now, can I take like a reference photo?
Yeah.
With, I'm trying to think of whose hands would be like the most. It's always good to work with. I like female hands. Sorry.
Sorry, Rob.
Oh, I have awkward
no,
thumbs.
We
Like,
all
you don't
have
want to use
insecurity
mine.
about
My
our
thumbs
hands.
are.
I'll admit, like I slim my hands down when I. Just
Yeah.
saying. Everybody has their insecurities.
Yeah.
All right. You can see how I work at home now. Just like.
Nice.
all right. Let's see. So if we were to pinky promise, let's see.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see how we. Okay.
That's gonna be dope.
You can't find these kind of reference
I
photos
know.
online, you know?
Only on
should I
Adobe
do my other?
Live.
Oh yeah, the other one, because we would be, we're both doing the other one.
What's easier for you?
Maybe you should use the green screen.
Oh, yeah.
It'd be easier.
I don't mind this actually, but yeah, I don't use my resources clearly. I'll take a few. So we have like is this natural? Is that pinky promise? I'm getting into character. Pinky promise. Okay.
Pinky promise.
Okay,
Pinky promise.
A few. Like, let's see which one I like more. Like overthink it and then I forget how I actually use my hands usually. That's cute.
Yeah.
Look at us.
Oh, selfie.
Perfect.
Hand selfies. Someone's saying, sometimes I struggle with coming up with ideas and get frustrated. What do you guys do when that happens? I feel like that's the artist dilemma, right? Like you just get like stuck, or you get frustrated when you're trying to come up with ideas. What do you guys do when you're stuck? The artist block, creative block.
I haven't had one in a long time.
You're just too good.
No,
Superhuman.
I guess I found a way to get out of it. But I haven't had one in quite a while.
Do you think that's maybe because you have like a pretty good process going? I feel like you do a lot of like, you're like so strong in that area that you kind of like start and the ball is just rolling.
I think it may be like the portraits as well. So
Yeah.
I don't know. But I do come up with crazy ideas. I guess because of my full-time job, I can't get the drawing right away. So
Yeah.
by the time I sit there and think about drawing all day long,
Then you're just ready to do it.
and I'm ready to do it, I already sit down and got the idea going and
Yeah.
basically run it, execute it.
Yeah.
Uh,
How about you, Jenette? What do you do when you're Because I mean, like you're doing a lot of illustration stuff, but your day job is actually at Nike, not doing illustration work, right?
Yeah, or it's a combination.
Yeah. Well, I guess you guys both do. Day jobs are slightly different than what you're doing right here.
Yeah, I mean,
now.
Nike is really different from anything that I've shared, like publicly, really. But actually, I think that helps, and that speaks back to what you were saying. Like, I also I'll be working at Nike full time during the day, but then something will come up either like on one of my Pinterest boards or something, or I'm like, that's hilarious, and like too stupid to bring to the swoosh. So I like write it down somewhere, and yeah, I can't wait to get to it when I get home. So
that's cool. Mariel, I think I'm saying that right, is a high school senior trying to get to a graphic design program at an art and design college, and she's thankful for these streams. Rob and Jennet feel like my mentors. Aw, that's really sweet.
good luck.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Get
You
it.
guys, just a reminder today, anything if you're drawing or designing alongside of us, post your stuff with the hashtag Adobe Live. Occasionally we'll be bringing some stuff up that you guys are posting. If you're working on mobile, use hashtag Make It On Mobile. Post it to Twitter, Instagram, Behance, wherever. So we got another question. Did you first embrace draw and sketch when you first encountered it? I imagine I would be a little bit hesitant adding it to my design process. So Jennet, earlier you said you were pretty skeptical.
I was skeptical, I think, because I didn't know if, like, I think in my mind I attach a certain aesthetic to the tool, and I thought it was one that I don't really, it's not really my aesthetic. I think as I started to realize that it's just another tool to, use for whatever style you tend to gravitate toward, then I was, like, obviously warmed up to it, because why not? That's just, like, an extra plus thing to have on my table. Clearly, I have, like, usually, like, 6 devices, but I'm keeping it at a minimum today, and I'm already like, look how clean he is.
And so, Rob, how about you? I mean, you're kind of an old timer in terms of like drawing on the iPad, but what was your like? Did it come out and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna do it right away, or were you like, meh?
Well, back in the day, I decided. Nah, I was actually looking for it.
Oh.
It came up as a question, and I didn't know it actually exists until I went searching for it. So I had to do a cover for a indie band, and I was looking for a tool where I can get started while my wife was at work, because this is like the summertime, and I was taking care of my younger son Max. I was daddy daycare, but my oldest son, he actually went to a daycare, and so I needed something where I can get started and then just continue later in Illustrator. And I ran into this wonderful app.
Yeah. So how often would you say that you send, because I think that's one of the coolest parts of working on mobile is the Adobe mobile apps allow you to send your work to Illustrator and Photoshop if you want to in the process. How often do you do that?
Not a lot recently, because I had a MacBook that was elderly, so it would take about 10 minutes for Illustrator to warm up. But I got a new MacBook now.
Nice.
So I imagine I'm going to be exporting a little bit more. But what it did was it just forced me out of a comfort zone. And once I got forced out of that comfort zone, I had to get creative as far as what it is that I wanted to do.
Right.
So.
Cool. And Jennet, how often are you sending to Photoshop or Illustrator? Do you kind of work back and forth, or do you just like, if you start on the iPad, you finish on the iPad?
Oh, I send back and forth a lot. I think, I have the maybe different problem of the fact that I'd use it, well, not a problem, but I use it for work a lot, Nike work, and my work computer has a horrible firewall. Aww. So I do text myself those photos that I need to send back and forth, but I think all the time about how great it would be to just send everything to CC.
Yeah. We've got a question. People are asking how you know that you were going to get into art or design for both of you. Jennet, I know you had kind of an interesting, you were like not going to be But you don't have any formal training in graphic design, right?
No formal training in anything really.
Which is awesome. I think that's so cool.
But I did always know. I think it was just, I always knew because it was like the only thing that I ever did that like really, I felt like could be kind of my tool to, if I wanted to change something or fix something about anything I encountered in life.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was going to be through design and art. So, but there's many ways to go about it, and I don't think it's necessary. I'll be the champion of you don't have to, if you don't get into art school or if, circumstances don't let you take the class you want, there's so many ways to break in. So
yeah, because you taught yourself everything.
Basically, yeah, including all these. That's why I was self-conscious about coming to Adobe, because I was like, you guys know I'm not going to use things the way, the classrooms and the manuals are teaching me. But I think there's something interesting in that, because I know a lot of people who taught themselves Adobe, and it's like, or these apps. It's like, oh,
yeah,
how, different ways we hack things.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of it, is like everyone uses them differently and everyone
Yeah.
learns differently, and there's no right or wrong way,
To eat a Reese's.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true. And Rob, you did a shout out to your mom earlier. You've kind of always been in the art track, right?
Kind of, sort of. I drifted away several times. And that's the beauty of the whole thing. It's not the how you're going to be in it. It's just like picking the right time to be in it. Like that right time is going to hit, and you just need to be prepared for it whenever it hits. For me, I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't. When I went to school, I was a print major. Like there were only like 2 MacBooks on campus because I'm an old timer, and they didn't start the, what did they call it at the time? They called it it wasn't called graphic design at the time. It had a different name, but that program didn't begin until after
Really?
I graduated. So I was like,
I graduated with a degree in graphic design, but they called it visual communication, which I thought was kind of interesting.
yeah.
I just want to break in we have some people asking about some of the gestures and some of the quick shortcuts. Rob, I know you do fills a lot, and can you tell us how you fill enclosed objects and shapes?
Yeah, so in Adobe Draw, if you have an object, so I guess this came up with Kyle earlier. Somebody asked it right before I left the room. They were asking if it had a fill. Well, we have it in Adobe Draw. What you do is you make sure that you have an enclosed space, and sometimes it get a little aggravating trying to find the little gaps that's in there, because the tiniest gaps can cause it not to work, and I'll demonstrate that in a second. But this is an enclosed space. If I long press within the enclosed space, it automatically fills it.
Magic.
And what that does is it saves your nib on your Apple Pencil, because before, in order to fill the space in, I would have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Years.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
So that works, but let's say if you're in that little situation where there's the tiniest gap there, what'll occur is when I do a long press there,
that little paint bucket thing comes up, says nope, can't do it.
Yeah, you get the notification that you can't do it.
Oh no, you don't.
Yeah, like don't even try it, buddy. But
cool.
when they added the fill,
oh man, it speeds things up so much.
Man, does it?
That's awesome. Now, Jenette, I've got a question for you. When you use your tools, do you change the brush settings at all on them?
Yeah.
Like the pressure, do you have your pressure turned on everything?
I do have my pressure turned on now. I think I do that more in Sketch than I do in Draw, just because in Sketch I really do want to be feeling like I'm in a notebook, a real tangible notebook, and that's what my pencil will be doing. And if it's like arbitrarily kind of off, then I'm not a control freak about it.
Yeah.
But when I'm in Draw, I am, because it's going to vector into, a set width. So I do toy with it a lot, and it's, when I'm not working on like a serious project.
Yeah.
A serious project like this one.
Yeah. This is a very, very serious project.
I do play around with pressure and stuff more with brushes.
Yeah. Cool. I noticed we've had a couple people asking if Sketch and Draw are on the MacBook, and unfortunately they are not.
They're not.
right now they're only on mobile devices, or I guess I can't even say touch devices because, well, for Apple touch devices. But if you have a Chromebook, you can download the Android version. You put your Chromebook in Android app mode. There's a mode that you can put it into, and you could use Sketch and Draw on the Chromebook. Someone's asking how you clear the layer to start over. You could delete it. What Rob's doing is he's turning them on and off. There's a quick gesture. It's a double tap. You can turn the layers on and off quickly, the visibility of it, which is kind of cool.
Someone asked...
Ask away. I'm the designer for Sketch and Draw, so I can answer all your questions. And Rob and Jennet can too, because they use them all the time. Someone asked what?
That's the question he was asking. I mean, you was answering the one about could it be done on the MacBook?
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, with the pen tool, but that's a lot of clicking around. So this can be done in Illustrator. There's some super dope artists out there that's really getting busy on Illustrator.
Yeah, in fact, we have an Illustrator. I mean, this guy's crazy. He's going to be on after you guys. His name's Orlando.
Yeah.
This guy.
That's not his name.
You talk about the
Lexaphone.
pen tool and vector. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's insane.
Like, what's the quick key in Illustrator? Is it Control Y or Command Y?
Mm-hmm.
Where you can turn off the color and you can see all the points. Like, he shows some of this for his work and it blows your mind. It's insane. So Rob Art is asking, can you explain the flow and speed of vector brushes? It seems like you're drawing really fast.
The flow and speed.
It's just vector.
Yeah,
Really
it's just vector. I'm using the chisel brush at the time, and
have you changed any of the settings on it?
a little bit. I tweaked the velocity a little bit, but not by a lot.
Okay.
Later this week, I'm gonna be doing a dripping looking style, and I can show how to program your round brush to do that.
Nice. Cool. So Anya is asking, what's the resolution like on Sketch if you were to print it out? Well, we do have, I'm trying to remember, we do have document sizes. I do not believe that those are out in the App Store right now. But you can print at 300 DPI. You can have a certain resolution. You can set it to 300 DPI. Yeah. Alan says, Brooke, I really want to know what's coming. What's on the horizon? Tell us. I love these apps. Well, thank you, Alan. That's awesome. I'm glad you love them. I do too. If you guys tuned in earlier before Rob and Jennet, you should have seen Kyle Webster. He was on giving a sneak peek of how you can add every single Photoshop brush you own. You can actually use it in Sketch, which I think, like, for me, it was completely magical to be able to do that. And that's going to be coming out soon. I'm trying to think what else we've got. Tons and tons of document sizes. You can create almost any document size you want. In Sketch, we've got more resolutions, so you know exactly what you're going to be printing at if that's what you want to do. So if you send it to Photoshop later, you know exactly what the resolution is. I'm trying to think if there's anything else really major that I can tell you without getting in trouble. So Daniel, you're asking, what are the major differences between drawing in Sketch and drawing in Photoshop? And I think the major differences are, obviously, they're different tools. So Sketch is primarily focused on drawing and illustration, and Photoshop, as we all know, I think we like to say around here and everywhere that, you know, everyone's Photoshop is different. You could ask 5 people on the street what Photoshop is, and you get 100 different answers. So Photoshop has a little bit of everything in it, but Sketch is really, really focused on drawing and illustration. So Jennet, we're watching you here draw around the Pinky Promise.
Yes.
And you're doing this in vector now.
Yeah, so I've just simply brought that illustration I was doing in iPad into my Illustrator, and now I can work on a more clean file and what the final will probably be on.
Awesome. So for this round, you were using Sketch to kind of like get out your ideas and make sure it's going to work quickly.
I wanted to know where I wanted the lines to be, which is hard to do on Illustrator right away because it's kind of like, it's not a commitment in that it's vector and there's breadcrumbs, but then it is also because you kind of have to, or for me, I have to know what I'm doing before I get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Terrence says, thanks, these apps got me drawing again. That makes me so excited. Thank you, Terrence. I love it when people say that it's, because it does. It kind of like lowers the barrier to entry, right? Like,
absolutely.
I feel like, I mean, for me personally, like Photoshop is an amazing tool, but like there is that, Jennet, like you were talking about, there's that like, it's not permanent, but it kind of feels like it is a little bit more.
So it's good to have them kind of all on hand. So that I know right away, like, I gotta jump to this one.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna stop my momentum.
This is so cool. I like it. The Pinky Promise.
Yeah, me and you.
I know.
I have the illusion.
I know.
That I
want to print out of both of these. This is awesome. And so just as a reminder for those of you who are hanging out with us, if you're drawing or designing at the same time, post your stuff to Behance, Twitter, Instagram. Use the hashtag Adobe Live. If you're doing stuff on mobile, make sure you use the hashtag #MakeItOnMobile, and that way we can track all your cool stuff that you're making. John says, I've been trying to get info on the next version of Draw 2. Sounds like, what are we looking at?
Yeah.
People just want to know sneaky features.
We need to get some like, drinks in the house or something, and then we'll see, right? She's
Yes.
What are you proposing?
Adobe will be all the way live then.
Oh, man.
All the way up.
That'd be dangerous.
I'll do some impersonations.
Why aren't we doing this?
So someone said, are you able to fill if you have outlines that are on two different layers? And to your point, Rob,
I can show something. So what I just did was I hit the plus sign. If you notice, my menu is flipped around. I like to have my brush menu on my
weird,
right.
Man.
Yeah. I like to have my brush menu on the right hand side and my layers on my left because I'm going to interact with my brushes more than my layers. And it's more convenient for me to control the other stuff with my left hand.
Yep.
So what I just did, or what I'm about to do, is add another draw layer. And all right, great. So what I did was I accidentally put a few strokes on the wrong layer. So swap that around a little bit, and I'm going to come in here and add them back in because I actually put them on my blue line sketch layer. So there's a couple of facial lines that got misplaced. Didn't like that one. So I'm drawing those back in, and what I'm going to do now, I made a lot of boo-boos. You asked, could you fill in spaces from two different layers? I'm kind of going around your question to show something else, and I
we're going to answer your question, but we're not going to answer your question.
Yeah, I'm going to answer it.
Yeah, you can actually merge layers.
You can merge layers down.
So you can see he's tapped on the layer to get the layer options. You can see the merge down option there.
So I got two strokes on one layer over here on the side. So if I go ahead and merge that down, then I can merge that down. It's a good thing you asked that because in the beginning, what I did a lot of is I would play around with the placement and size of different things. Let's say if the eye, because right now I feel like the eye that's on the left-hand side is too big. But if I wanted to play around with the size of the eye, I can draw the eye on a separate layer and play around with the size, the placement, maybe duplicate it, flip it horizontally, put them in position, and then just merge all that together. And then I can fill in as long as it's enclosed. But the lines have to be on the same layer, and also being on the same layer, they have to be enclosed in order to get things to merge. If that answers your question.
I think it does.
Cool. I'm suffering from jet lag.
Yeah, you got on super late. When did you get in, Jennet?
I got in okay. I'm not complaining. Yeah, it was comfortable. Sat around for a while.
My seat wouldn't recline.
Oh, no.
I'm sorry.
That's the worst.
Oh, that's the worst. It was a 6-hour flight.
My legs are short, so I never have a problem.
Yeah.
Short people.
So Dan is asking, short people problem.
I'm not even insulted.
Nah, you're not.
I know.
It's a great trait.
So Dan is asking what we're drawing on, and just to reiterate, Rob is using Adobe Illustrator Draw, which is a free vector drawing tool.
Free.
Yeah.
Free 99.
Free 99.
I paid $9.99 for the first application. I was
really?
dedicated.
Worth
Nice.
it.
And you can get that on the App Store. It's available on Android and iOS. And then Jennet was using, right now she's using Illustrator to do some vector pen tool work. But before she was using Adobe Photoshop Sketch, which is a raster drawing tool that is also free on iOS and Android. So someone was asking, how do you fill an object closed in Sketch on a single layer? And that's actually something that we don't have because it's not a vector tool. We want to have your texture there, and so you can fill that in with just your brush. And Dan is then asking what hardware, and Rob, you're using?
I'm using iPad Pro 12.9
The big one.
with the Apple Pencil.
And Jennet? You've
Huh?
got,
Sorry,
you've got a
just
big setup. People are asking what
getting in the
hardware you're
zone.
using.
Oh, yes. iPad Pro, same tools.
Big
at the
iPad
same
Pro.
time. Yeah. And then just a MacBook Pro Retina.
Mm-hmm.
And my iPhone.
You're using all the tools. I
Yes.
like it. This is interesting. Do you guys like the bigger size? Because I have the smaller iPad Pro, the 9.7 inch, and I like it because it's not as heavy to carry around. Do you prefer having larger drawing space?
I have both.
You do?
I use them for different things, like a flight like last night. Because I was in the middle seat,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to pull out the big
man.
iPad Pro and.
Yeah.
But if with a smaller one, I can kind of like put my hand on it and
Yep.
basically get busy with it. So for the smaller one, I made sure that I had the data on it, so that way if I was on the go, it's easy for me to pull that out than to pull Big Mama out. I call it
Yeah.
Big Mama and Little Mama.
Big Mama and Little Mama.
Big Mama and Little Mama. It's easier with the Little
Yeah.
Mama.
We've got some really great questions on the chat right now. Tupac Rodriguez says, why isn't there a way to rotate the canvas and draw? There is. We can rotate the canvas 90 degrees. So if you go to the little settings icon, you can actually rotate your canvas, or you can rotate the interface just by twisting it. And then Christopher is asking, can you transform unproportionally in Draw? And that is something that is coming. We don't have it yet. It will be coming. Do you like that or no? You have it? Okay.
I still have that one too. Yeah.
You want it?
Yeah, I
Yes.
want it.
You guys want all the things.
Yes.
Is that okay?
And Ryan is asking what stylus you can recommend for other iPads. Before the iPad Pro came out, maybe Rob, you're a better one to ask. What stylus did you use?
My favorite stylus is the Pocket Bamboo. It was the one that Wacom came out with that you can slide. It had like telescopic like
Oh, cool.
movement to it. But that was my favorite. Towards the end, they changed the nib so that it had a little more texture to it. So it added more drag, but that was one of my favorite. The Bamboo Classic is another one. And if they're looking for pressure sensitivity, the Intuos, what's it called? The Intuos Pro, I want to say. What's the name of it? The part 2 of it
Yeah,
was pretty good. The fine line works well too.
cool. Jennet, we've got a longtime fan, a longtime follower from Instagram, Fenoric. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. She said, "Hey, Jennet, I'm a fan, a longtime follower on Instagram."
Hi.
It's
Hey.
exciting. You've got fans.
Monic.
Cool. A lot of people are saying they like the big iPad Pro, so you have a little bit bigger drawing area. But yeah, I think it's just preference, honestly.
I mean, I just have this one, but yeah, I can see how like having a smaller, because I think the whole deal with iPad in the first place for me was portability.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the beauty of having, you know, a mobile drawing device is you can literally, you know, like, it is super uncomfortable. Like, before I had the iPad, I'd be, like, sitting on the couch with my computer, and you're trying to do stuff, and, you know, it's just not really possible, especially if you're used to a Wacom.
Then the fan kicks in.
Oh, my gosh. And then your legs burn up.
Yeah.
Struggle.
I know, the struggle is real. The hands are coming along nicely.
Yep, nice and simple.
I like it. Yeah, I like how you have the opacity lowered on your sketch that you brought over. So you're not, and you're kind of doing what Rob also did, is like you're not really tracing it exactly. You're kind of just using it as a guide.
Yeah, totally. And I think I'm always toggling the opacity too. Just like in the beginning, it's like a more literal guide, and then I'd like zoom out to. It always freaks me out when I turn down the opacity that final time, and I'm like, whoa, that's not what I thought was coming. But the option is there, so.
Cool. Oh, wow. We've got some really great work up on the screen. People are posting. Thanks for posting. # Adobe Live. We've got this great work from Jeffrey. That's awesome. See, what's Jeffrey using with Kyle Webster brushes? I like it. Wow. These are great.
The mad scientist.
I know. The mad scientist brush guy. Cool. Oh, it looks like someone's taking notes. Whoa, someone's taking notes from our stream? That's awesome.
Oh, that's Andy. That's my friend Andy.
You know Andy?
Yes.
Oh,
Andy
nice.
is a graphic. Oh, what was the term we used at Max? He is a.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We're not going to get there. I don't know what it is.
Andy.
But I know what you're talking
Andy,
about.
Andy, save us.
It's a
What's
graphic
the word?
recorder. No,
recorder?
graphic.
Or like live notes
We
taker?
must do it justice.
Yes, and he adds all these different things to his notes, and
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah. So I met him. He
Whoa, that's rad.
he's actually with iMore. I think Andy. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you with iMore?
I don't know. Andy's silent on the chat, but he's posting stuff. It looks cool. Wow, this is really great. We got another one up here. It looks like it's maybe done from Sean. It looks like maybe Illustrator, or I can't really tell which one it is. You guys, this is awesome work. Keep posting. Use the # Adobe Live. And if you're working on mobile, use # #MakeItOnMobile. Wherever you're posting, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, Behance, do it. Everyone's doing it. The cool kids are doing it.
Yeah. Do I look sleepy? Like I think it's my allergies are kicking.
Oh, no.
The green is bringing
You're
out.
allergic. Rob's allergic to me. I don't know.
It's hot in here.
Yeah, it is
Yeah,
super hot in here.
it's like I feel like breath. You walk in the room, it's like somebody said,
Yeah.
It's heated when shady
So-
promises are being made.
"This is so dope."
Yeah, I know. I really like this.
Yeah.
It's really fun to watch both of you, how different your styles are, and just to see how.
I feel like I'm drawing and looking at your screen at the same time because I'm like, what are you doing? That's cool.
That's why I took like a little break. I'm gonna get in the shadows next.
Shit like that. Oh, sweet. eHunt Club says, thanks. Gonna grab the iPad Pro and the pencil now. And sketch and draw. Don't forget it.
Yeah, Andy said he freelanced for iMore.
Oh, cool.
The graphic recorder. I was
Graphic
right.
recorder.
Yes.
Nice.
Rob wins.
Yeah. So someone's asking about Cintiq 13 HD. Do either of you use that?
I never used a Cintiq.
Me
Yeah.
neither, no.
Oh.
This
Sorry.
is my first love.
Sorry, Walter.
If somebody want to give me a Cintiq,
Yeah.
I'll try it out.
So, Jenette, do you use a Wacom
I don't.
at work? No?
This is
You're
it
like
for me.
trackpad and...
I'm
Or do you
committed.
use a mouse?
I use I'm like trackpad queen. Like
Trackpad queen.
yeah, I've got
Nice.
like the click. Do you hear
Oh,
that?
yeah, the clicky...
clicking
The clicky
freaks my
wrist.
coworkers out. I'm like, yeah, what are you heading to this meeting? Like, can't help it.
Yep. Yeah, I know. I feel like I started using a Wacom probably like 5 years ago, and now if I pick up a mouse, it's like a rock in my hand. I'm like, do I like smash it together with another mouse? I don't know
We
how to
reached
use
that
it.
point. The parents are cavemen.
Someone's asking, Jenette, did you learn Photoshop or Illustrator first?
I learned Photoshop first. I think like these tools like come into play depending on like what like design era it was. And I remember when I first started designing, like Photoshop was like the thing. Like because kind of the aesthetic that comes out of it was right. It was right for, I mean, do you remember Zanga? Or
Yeah,
like what is Blogger? or whatever, like all those sites that I was trying to like infiltrate the design community by being like, I can make your banner and I can make it snow, I can make it rain on your website, literally. Do you remember the little snowflakes that would come down and program them? So like Photoshop was like the right thing for it.
So they're also asking, did you use the Photoshop pen tool or the Illustrator pen tool first?
Oh, I never used the Photoshop pen tool actually, but I'm like so committed to the Illustrator pen tool. I mean, you can tell by when I had my keyboard cover on, like the V, the Z, and the P were like completely just shot, like rubbed through. So that's proof.
Sweet. Andy said, I posted notes to Twitter with Adobe Live hashtag. They're from Rob's Max session 2016. Oh, so I guess that wasn't from today. Darn, I was hoping someone was taking live notes from our session right now.
That'd be dope.
Please, you can still start now.
Yeah.
Oh,
we'll be here all week.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, what time is it? Oh, we've got 1 hour left?
We got 1 hour left?
Yeah.
Okay.
Rob's like, I'm just going to take a break. I remember the last time I did some hosting with you, like for the first hour, Rob just sat there and hung out.
Yeah, I was talking. And
you're so fast. I can't.
I was doing impersonations. And was it Elmo that time?
You did a Flash.
Oh, the sloth.
Sloth, yeah.
Slash the floth.
Yeah, the floth. That's what we called it. That's right. Are you trying to fit?
Yeah, I feel like.
Oh, we did a V.
Yeah,
but it's kind of a W. I like it.
I still want the I want that idea to come through, but I don't think it's gonna. I want to keep the simplicity of this. So maybe I want to like overlay like another one over it.
Oh, cool!
And
Yeah.
we'll have like something will happen. Something good will happen.
Something good. I know.
Hopefully.
You're staring at your hands, and I was like, "Ooh, what happened?"
A lot of my process is sitting there like staring and thinking a lot. So there's no formula.
Process. Cool. We've got someone said, I'm using Windows and Android devices with a sad face. But good news is Sketch and Draw are on Android devices. So if you've got a tablet or if you've got an Android phone, you can actually get Adobe Sketch and Photoshop Sketch and Illustrator Draw on your Android device. So turn that frown upside down. So Susie's saying, to learn the pen tool, try searching for Bezier game. I've never heard of that. That sounds like a good idea.
Love how nerdy that sounds.
Yeah, I know.
I did a lot of.
I'm like, ooh, maybe I should do that in my free time. That just sounds like a fun game.
Have you ever heard of the kerning game?
I think I have.
That was like back when I had a PC that was like this big.
Yeah.
And it was like, you are 2 millimeters off. Like, I'll be better next time.
It helped fine tune me. I just got an Instagram message. No, don't go to Instagram.
I know. Isn't that the worst?
Yeah. I thought I turned notifications off.
Yeah, notifications for some reason doesn't seem like it works very well.
Somebody get Apple on the phone.
Yeah. Mariel says, Jenette, it looks like you're doing sign language when you were
I'm like secretly signing people like
get me out of here.
I know. Help. This is probably sensitive to people that actually need to do this, but
looks like we had got someone in the house. Rob, use your magic powers. We were talking about you earlier, actually.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about how, when you
My man.
What's going on, bro?
How are you? Y'all know who this is?
Good to see you.
Hi.
Watch me turn into a fan real quick.
I know.
Y'all know who this is?
Like a green shirt, been like the floating.
I know.
I got one over there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hey, Paul got one with.
Look, your work's in the
internal
background.
organs.
Cool.
Yeah, man.
We were talking earlier about when you do the Control Y and you turn off all the color and you see all the paths. Yeah. Oh man, how crazy that is.
Got Jerry in the house too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a bunch of people in the house. What's up?
Yeah.
Chilling.
Just stopping by. Looks great, guys.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, well, actually, these are our two guests coming on in about an hour.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right. So
about
tune
an
in
hour.
in an hour.
As well as Chrissy.
Yeah, they go in the
Chrissy.
background.
Hey, Chrissy.
As well.
Yay! I love all these video bombs, live video bombs. I don't know.
Yeah.
it's always a party at Adobe.
I know it is a party.
Yes.
So Jenette, someone's asking why you're moving your letters around separately rather than just using
Typing them out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know, it's odd. So I do this thing where, like, I'm not aspiring to design fonts or anything, but it's just happened this way that I like remember fonts that I like, but then I need to tweak them for a project. But then I remember I like the way that I tweak them into, so I save them into an Illustrator file and have them on hand. So I know it looks
That's
really
a really
weird,
good
but
idea, actually.
it's worked for me, and I'll probably
Yeah.
end up tweaking it more this time than saving that.
Now, I have a question. Did you use Capture
For
For the
individual letters? There's a roundness to them.
no, so I rounded them out.
Okay.
Yes, it kind of comes from, there's like a little bit of trade Gothic in there, and then I took inspiration from some like, I really like these like Japanese like how-to manuals, so like mashup of the structure of one with the kind of like not caringness of the other, if that
I
makes
like
sense.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan says, so many guests, it's like the Adobe Daytime Talk Show. I like that.
Yeah, I like
It's a
that.
good view.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Get a little TMZ going on.
So
Pamsy.
we'll give away a T-shirt now.
Oh, we're giving away a T-shirt.
Yeah.
So what do they have to do?
You have to type a keyword in the chat.
A keyword. What is the
The
keyword?
keyword is for which company Jennet is working now. Like,
Ooh.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if you guys were
Oh,
listening.
I can't wait for that bomb.
I know. Yeah, so if you guys were listening, we are going to be giving away a T-shirt, and you have to type the name of where Jennet works in order to be entered into the drawing. This is good. So who is listening will know now.
I'm not wearing any branded clothing today, so
I know.
don't try to zoom in.
Ooh, looks like we got people giving it away.
Here it is.
T-shirt. We've got some hype. People are wanting the T-shirt. And do we know what T-shirt it is? It's just going to be a T-shirt from what someone's drawing today, right?
this week. Yeah.
Oh, this week. Nice. Wow, we got a lot of people wanting T-shirts.
I think they got it.
Hype, hype, hype.
Yeah, let's go.
Chrissy, we had
Love
someone
it.
we had someone yelling for you. They said you're their buddy. What? Yep, they were super excited. Cool. All right, so who are we giving the T-shirt away to?
Uh-oh. Drum roll.
we know?
Where's
doing-
Nightbot?
I know. Where's Nightbot?
Nightbot, where are you?
John Harmon.
John Harmon.
John
oh
Harmon.
man, he's been super vocal. Congrats, John.
Yeah.
You get a T-shirt. Super awesome T-shirt designed by someone here.
John has this
Design
unique ability
TBD.
of making David pop out of places.
I know. Someone said you work at Adidas. Wrong.
Oh,
Ouch.
I'm taking a T-shirt from you.
Yeah, you get a
You
T-shirt
owe
taken
me a
away.
T-shirt.
Adidas.
Yeah. Cool. So, for those of you who are just late joining us, we've got Rob Zilla drawing a chimpanzee using Adobe Draw, and we've got Jennet Liaw. I said that right now, right?
Yeah, that was perfect.
Sweet.
Yes.
And she was using Adobe Sketch on her iPad, and now she's an illustrator, and she is doing a quote that did you just randomly hear it on the street?
I think I heard like a coworker, unnamed
Together
coworker saying
forever,
it, not to
whatever.
me, but
Yeah, I like it.
yeah.
It's good.
All right, I'm gonna do.
And just a reminder that if you guys are drawing or designing with us today, make sure you post what you're doing with the hashtag Adobe Live. If you're on mobile, use the hashtag Make It On Mobile and post it to Twitter, Instagram, Behance, whatever the media of choice.
All right, y'all ready for some secret sauce?
Secret sauce. Let's go
Secret
for
sauce
it.
time. Secret sauce to shadows. So
Ooh.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a new draw layer. I'm gonna drop that draw layer underneath my outline layer. And were you responsible for this? Now we can rename our layers.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Do you ever rename?
Sometimes,
Sometimes.
mostly when I'm instructing. And we're just gonna call this shadow. I'm not gonna put a number behind it because you'll see in a second. So, boom, I'm setting up a shadow layer now. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop the opacity of the shadow layer down to the secret sauce number of about 30%. 30% looks nice.
Cool.
I'm not changing anything. I'm still using the taper tool and I'm still using black. But what I'm gonna do now is whenever I get ready to paint into these places now, let me go ahead and drop this out. When I get ready to paint in here now, I get a nice translucent gray. And what I can do with that translucent gray is I can drop a solid color underneath and create a shade of that color, hence creating shadow.
Nice.
And that's the secret sauce.
Now, can I ask you, why do you drop your layer down to 30% rather than dropping your brush opacity down to 30%? Is there a reason or is it just preference?
Uniformity. If I wanted to give more of a marker effect, then what I would do is I would drop the layer opacity, which is located. Stroke opacity, which is located here.
Okay.
But when I drop a stroke opacity, and I cross that stroke again, we get that little.
Yep. So you don't want that
overlay mark like you would if you were using.
Yep.
Like my students say, magic markers.
Yeah, it totally is. It's like a highlighter.
So sometimes I do use it.
Okay.
Sometimes I don't. I use it as a finisher and not as a detailer.
Cool. And for those of you who are just joining us, Rob is using Draw, and it's a vector drawing tool. And you saw earlier he was zooming in like super crazy, like 6,400%, and it's still clean and crisp and delicious.
Yes.
So that is the beauty of vector.
And
Jennet prefers sketch. Well, for what you were doing today, you preferred sketch just because you liked that sort of sketchy line.
Yeah.
You didn't need the vector part of it.
Yeah. When I use Draw, I feel like that's when I'm more committed. Where like I want to be control freak when I'm in Draw and when I'm in Illustrator, and in Photoshop and my sketchbook, I'm like.
Yeah. Yeah,
Shrug
less
face.
commitment.
Yeah.
And now I just saw you out of the corner of your eye while Rob was talking. You were taking more pictures of your hands. Secret signs. Get me out of here.
Why isn't anybody helping me yet?
What is that beating noise?
I know.
Bring SWAT team. No, I decided that like that message wasn't coming across as much as I wanted to, so we're gonna add
So
another
you're starting
illustration.
over. You're adding another. Okay.
I'm just gonna add another, like we'll do one of those like faux, not like 3D glasses, but 3D glasses effect.
I like it.
And just like lay that on because they kind of have like mirroring shapes, so I'm forcing them to get along. And we'll see if it works.
Everybody's got to get along.
Yes.
And then I was going to ask you another question, but I forgot what. People keep asking why you're moving the letters around individually. So you want to share one more time?
It's a really weird tip, but basically I always tend to modify my letters once I get into my project because I like things to look either like a little bit undone or like that they're hand done but still clean. So I just like figured I'd save all the vectors, those letters I was modifying, so I can use them in the future. And now I'm probably going to go in and modify them more. And then
awesome.
Yeah. So
Pro tip. Yeah. Now, Rob, you're using a lot of different gestures. We mentioned before you like the 2-finger swipe to the left, undo, swipe to the right, redo. It sounds like I'm like talking about the Tootsie Roll.
Yeah.
And then double tap is turning layers on the visibility on and off. Any other gestures that you like? The long press to fill.
Long press to fill.
And closed shapes. If it's not completely closed, it won't fill it. Anything else?
Something else that needs to be brought back.
Okay.
So old school, bring it back old school. If I'm on a layer and let's say things are not going quite right, I used to be able to take the eraser and double tap.
Okay.
Everything on
Erase
that
the
layer
entire
just
layer.
disappears.
Yep.
Without me having to delete a layer and then create a new layer.
All right.
That
I hear you.
I kind of miss it, but
well, it's not completely gone.
Yeah.
I'll give you that much.
Cool.
And for those of you, if you have questions about Adobe Illustrator Draw or Photoshop Sketch, I'm the designer for them, so I'm here to answer any questions you have. They're both free apps. They're on iPad, iPhone, any Android tablet or phone. Both of them are available for free. Or as Jennet said, free 99.
That's right.
I like it. We've got lots of people from lots of places. Diego from Texas is loving the work. Thank you for joining. Melvin saying hello from Houston. Wow, we've got a lot of Texas people.
I saw somebody from the Netherlands.
Oh, yeah. Yep, just right now. Cool. And if you are designing or drawing along with us today, make sure you post your stuff with the hashtag Adobe Live on Instagram, Behance, Twitter, wherever. Val says you've posted some vector portraits on Behance. Thank you, Val. Oh, we've got some more stuff here. Cool. Hello from Livestream.
Nice.
I love it. Oh, sweet. We've got Mike doing something with Draw a Cat. I like it. Very cool. Jenette's back over here signing.
Oh
Whoa,
my
John. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's dope.
Yeah, nice work.
Yeah, and I like
We've got a ton of great. I'm so impressed.
the glares in the hair.
Yeah.
Oh, I know John.
Do you?
Yeah.
Man, you know everyone.
Whole squad's here for you.
I know.
No, John.
Oh, sweet. Check
Oh,
this out.
cool.
Nice work, Anna. With Adobe Draw. I love it.
Oh, with Adobe Draw.
Yeah?
Now, is she still on?
I don't
Anna,
know,
are you
Anna.
are you in the chat, Anna?
I think there's a little bit of a delay.
Say Rob if you're in the chat.
Cool. You guys, this is awesome work. I love seeing how creative everyone is. It's so cool. Oh, someone's asking, did Rob give up the skull idea?
No.
Still coming.
I'm gonna add the skull in my flat color, so it's coming in.
Cool. Now, you're doing this all in black and white. Is the end going to be black and white?
The end is going to be black and white with a hint of color.
Okay. Cool. David's asking if there's a way to import brushes into Draw or Sketch. For those of you who didn't see, Kyle Webster was on right before Rob and Jenette, and he did a sneak peek of importing any Photoshop brush into Sketch. So there is a way to do it. We do have a pack of Kyle's brushes that you can get directly from Sketch. There's a website, and I don't remember exactly what the website is.
Cal
where you can get
Brush.
it. He did it.
.com?
He did a pack. He curated a pack specifically for Sketch during Max.
I was very excited for this.
Oh yeah. And then and so then Draw just has all the built-in vector brushes.
Vector brushes.
Can you get these programs on the Surface
song?
Pro? What's that?
Want to make a song, Rob?
Yeah.
You about to add that
The
effect on
vector
that
brushes.
mic?
So waiting for this moment all
We
day.
need a little jingle.
Vector brushes.
Yeah.
The shyest DJ I've ever seen. I think I got it.
So we have someone asking if you have the programs on Surface Pro, and right now they are not available on the Surface Pro. But if you have a Chromebook, you can actually put it into a mode where you can run your Android apps on your Chromebook, and then you can get Adobe Draw and Sketch on your Chromebook. Cool. Someone says Rob's drawing a gorilla.
Yeah.
I like it.
Gangster.
Cool. Oh, okay. It looks like we've got. Thanks, David, for posting the link for that's for Kyle's brushes. So if you check out that link that David Macy posted in the chat, you can get Kyle's brushes, curated pack of Kyle's brushes on Sketch.
Yeah, David Macy is one of my heroes.
He's grinning. Just beaming.
Rob.
Just
I love you too, man.
Hey Rob, looks like one of your students is posting. You see this one?
That's one of my students.
I think it must be just by looking at the content.
Fartzilla. Yeah, destroy a whole city.
Yeah.
What a way to
Someone's asking you, Jenette. Bob is asking, have you checked out the smooth tool in Illustrator? It would save you a ton of time drawing.
do you mean in the way that like if I traced it and then use a smooth tool? Because I'm not using it in that way now. Or
I know what they mean.
yeah,
Yeah.
I use it for if I've like live traced something and then I want to smooth it, but then I feel like I have less control of like I want to be like drawing lines from like feeling like it's like scratch. Is that what he's saying? Do you think?
Yeah, I think what you're saying is you want it to be more humanistic.
Yeah, like almost I want
Yeah.
to like reapproach the image versus like taking it for not trying
Exactly
to, like,
what
photo
it
it.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? I hope.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's a
smooth
good
tool.
recommendation.
Yeah,
I
when
mean,
I found it for certain things,
Nice.
I've found everything by myself. It was like years
like to
behind everyone else.
move it.
Oh, someone says, Rob, thanks for the shout out. I'm Anna of David Bowie and Draw, the one that we just had up on the screen.
Oh, so Anna, did you use the blend modes? Did my eyes get big? Cause they look small. I try to make them large just now. When
Yeah.
you,
That one.
yeah,
Yeah, it does kind of look like some blend modes. It looks like there's a little bit of texture in there. I'm kind of curious if she... It looks like it could be a background done in Sketch.
blend modes are dope.
Yeah.
I may use some blend modes tomorrow.
Ooh.
I did some weird
Teaser.
stuff with blend modes.
Yeah. Teaser trailer right here.
Yeah. So, blend modes tomorrow.
Stay tuned for tomorrow.
Yeah. And
Robzilla
in the
and
next
blend
episode,
modes.
be here when Rob uses the blend modes.
She said, what?
I know. Yeah. It is like the talk show, Adobe talk show. Oh, she said she imported it in Photoshop.
Ah. Okay, got
Gotcha.
you.
Cool.
Dope.
Yeah. So with the draw and sketch, the iPad drawing and sketching vector and raster tools, you can send it directly to Photoshop or Illustrator from within the app, which is cool because all the layers stay preserved. So you can send it, like if Rob sends this to Illustrator, he gets all the layers in Illustrator or all the layers in Photoshop, which is pretty awesome.
And I get every stroke.
Which is
Every
crazy.
stroke
Yeah.
with the outlines and everything. So this little stroke right here, it's there. I got it. Whenever you export it out.
Nice.
All right, so I think it's solid.
Cool. So what
Flat
are you
color
gonna do
time.
next? So tell me a little bit how you're using colors. You open up this themes tab.
Yeah. So I was just looking for a general red as a jump off point. I should go with this one. But we have themes. You can import things from Capture right on here. So I got all the colors and tones I use for NASCAR there. You got some general ones and community themes. So whoever developed this community theme here with this red, I'm gonna use it for his eyes.
Nice.
I should make the entire chimp red.
Ooh.
I don't know yet.
Someone's asking Rob, what iPad stand are you using?
Which iPad stand I'm using? I just got a thank you from them. I'm using the draft table by Elevation Lab.
Cool. Oh, someone was saying they want you to send it to Illustrator at the end and do Command Y of your vector strokes. That would be pretty insane. That would look like some of Orlando's stuff. Actually, it'd be more insane. You ever do that?
I'll do it on Thursday.
Yeah. All
So
right.
Thursday
Sounds
on
good.
Adobe Live.
That means that
Stay
you have to tune
tuned.
in on Thursday. I like this. Joseph said, "Hey Jenette, I'm also a self-taught creative graphic artist something or other. Anyway, how do you cope with the fact that others get an education in graphic design? I feel fear at sometimes."
I totally relate to that fear. I think sometimes it still comes up for me, but I think the important thing to focus on is just like the work that you're putting out, if it's effective or not. I mean, it took me a long time to get over that insecurity because I was like, you took classes and whatever. Then I realized that people who took classes like maybe like didn't spend as much time just like really truly exploring each tool for what it is and what it does for you. Because I think when you take a course on Photoshop and Illustrator or even like drawing, like you're not maybe doing the prompt that you set out to do. You just kind of learn like step 1, step 2.
Yeah, like
So-
maybe it makes you just like a tiny bit lazier because you didn't have to like dig in and like.
I mean, I'm not biased, but I think so. You have to take time in the end anyway to figure out how those tools work for you. So
Yeah.
that's where maybe some source of confidence can be.
Truth. She speaks truth.
Yep.
Try.
Carlotta says, "Where can we post our stuff? Use the hashtag Adobe Live. You can post it on Instagram, Twitter, or Behance, wherever you'd like to post it. We will find it. And if you're drawing mobile or you're using mobile to design your work, make sure you use the Make It On Mobile hashtag." Cool. Ooh, those eyes look terrifying.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
This is actually allergy eyes.
Allergy eyes. Cool. Oh, so Anya's saying, what do you think about all the names attributed to graphic creatives, graphic artist, graphic designer, illustrator, etc.? What do you call yourselves? Because you're both kind of like spanning multiple fields. When you say like, hey, I'm Jenette, I'm a blank? Does it?
Honestly,
do you always
it's
say this?
really hard. It depends on who I'm talking to, but yeah, the only thing I really hate is like unicorn or like Craigslist. Like we're looking for a wizard, but I think it's important for me to be pretty general about it, unless it's like for a particular thing for like my full time or something. I don't know. I'm like, it's like all the ones that actually make sense are really corny.
Yeah.
I'm a visual problem solver.
Actually, I really like
But
that.
it's like, when you say it in real life, it's like,
Yeah, it does sound a
Okay.
little cheesy.
yeah.
Rob, what do you call yourself?
I am a digital illustrator.
Ah,
I play around on the net and say vector art monster. But now hopefully I can say my title is a sports illustrator.
nice. I like Art Monster. Some people are saying they call themselves pixel pushers.
Yeah.
So we have a really good question. What programs do you guys recommend for someone who's learning to draw digitally? So I think like the option is like you've got the computer or you've got the iPad.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys recommend?
If you can afford it, kind of like, or if you can borrow, test drive and find out which feels more comfortable to your process. I think that would be the best advice. If you're into precision, then you may like Illustrator. Now there's some illustrators who are basically bending rules when it comes to using Illustrator. And
What do you mean by bending rules?
well, it's been known to you kind of use it in order to be more precise, and they're getting more humanistic with their creations by using this tool that has like great precision, and they take a lot of time and master their craft. I'm not knocking anybody, but some people, I like doing things like that, taking something and making it do what normally it can't do,
Yeah.
which is
Kind of
fun.
breaking the tools.
Yeah, like hey, I wonder if this iPhone can float on water. But nothing that destructive, but just pushing boundaries. That's how the shadow thing occurred. It's like, hey, I want to replicate even before it was in Sketch. I want to duplicate that process of watercolor. So I want to add washes, and that's why I dropped the opacity layers for the shadows.
Yeah. Very cool. Jeanette, how about you? For someone who's wants to get into digital drawing, what would you recommend?
Oh, I really think it depends on your style because I can see, like, your point. I draw really differently. I really have liked getting to learn how to draw in Illustrator first, just because then I'm very, like, planning minded versus see where things are going. And Illustrator has definitely helped me be more, like, think ahead. Yeah.
That's a good one. So we've got 25 minutes left. Are you guys going to be able to finish?
25
Pressure's
minutes.
on.
I feel like I'm on Chopped. And it's like,
I know you are.
Jennet hasn't even started plating yet.
Jenette is not going to make it.
Yeah.
This is not good. So now you're connecting the letters with the. Ooh, that's cool.
Trying to, like,
connect-
reach, like, a point where, whoever's looking at it, like, gets it, like, quicker. So kind of, like, literally deleting steps in between that's kind of like understanding what it
Yeah.
is. So kind of like making the letters the same aesthetic as the illustration to see if it works. I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool.
Really testing
Now,
things out.
did you just outline the strokes, or did you of the letters, or did you do like a I'm totally blanking on what it is. I know where it's at, where you go object path offset, the path offset.
No, I just outlined it because it's quicker. So for me now, just to see if it works, and I think in my head it works, and then I'll go back later, probably outline that stroke, and then edit, tweak
Nice.
in the last 5 seconds.
Yeah.
On commercial break.
This is cool. I like this. It feels like it could turn into like a little GIF animation somehow.
Yeah, right. I'm such an amateur animator, but I feel like a lot of my work is starting to be like animate me.
Yeah.
So.
Pollyanna says, I would wear Jeanette's design on a t-shirt in a heartbeat. She loves it.
Well, I design tees for thanks, Pollyanna, for my full time. So I feel like part of my job is to do that. So I feel like when you guys said it was going to be for tees, Like, I definitely wanted to make something that I'd actually wear.
Yeah.
Versus, like, needed to print out on poster. So.
Yeah, because there's a difference. Like, when you know, I feel like, do you approach things differently that way? Like, T-shirts?
Completely differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's ironic because a lot of graphic designers actually don't love wearing graphics. So I like that challenge of, like, how to make a graphic tee for a graphic designer who hates graphics. So hopefully I'm hitting that mark.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Pamela's asking, what tablet brand do you recommend for graphic design students? And this is interesting because I feel like I hear a lot of people say that they use Cintiqs, but neither of you do that. Jenette's trackpad, which is awesome.
Full-on trackpad right now, if you thought I was
wrist person.
Yeah.
And Rob, what would you recommend? Any recommendations for students? Maybe that means like they want it to be affordable. I don't know.
Like if depending on what you got going on, Wacom makes the low price. What are they calling it now?
Pen and Touch, or is it the Pen and Touch?
Yeah.
Yeah. That one's actually pretty good. I actually have that one. I use it, but I turn off all the touch stuff.
Yeah, I have a couple in my classroom, and the kids they're getting used to it. At first, it's the hand-eye coordination thing because you're not drawing directly on what you're using. So maybe that's a question we can bounce back to her.
Yeah.
Does she necessarily need to draw on?
Yeah, I don't know. It was just kind of a one-off question. Jenette, someone wants a collaboration with you and Victoria. Do you remember Victoria Seymour?
Of course I remember her.
So Jenette and Victoria actually know each other from our Make It On Mobile event that we had a year ago, which is where Rob and Jenette and I all met.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. Terrence, Terrence is asking Rob, do you smooth your pen strokes before or while drawing?
You set me up, boy. He has a classroom right beside me. So I'm glad you mentioned that too. Good looking out. So was this done on purpose, Brooke?
What?
All right. So I'm going to close my drawing, and I'm going to go to settings.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go to preference. And you got two stroke smoothing options here. You got while drawing and you have after drawing.
Yep.
One gives you a more humanistic feel. The other one smooths a little bit more than the other one.
Yeah.
So was that done on purpose?
That is actually, I inherited that, so I would not be able to answer that question. But I know Brian Yap, who was on the chat earlier, he likes after drawing because he says he has a shaky hand, and so it helps smooth the strokes afterwards, and it's a little bit more smooth.
And while drawing is a little more humanistic.
Yep.
So that's a little tidbit inside of Adobe Draw. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and click on after drawing so that y'all can get a quick view of what occurs. So now I'm gonna do a raggedy line, and if you notice it smoothed completely out. Let me drop the width on this. And it's completely smooth.
Yeah.
If you're drawing man-made items, you want to use this option. If you want that more humanistic feel, then you can swap back over and use while drawing. And what it will do is it won't pick up on it as much. So
it leaves it a little bit more ragged. Cool. We've got a really good question here from Joseph. He says, what's the best advice you received as a designer? It's a good question. It's a hard question.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Oh.
Can I quote your employer?
Do it.
Just do it. Like, I was one of those guys who was like, always wanted to tell you the idea I had, and like, ooh, you know what? Be a good idea if we do this and do this, and finally, folks got tired of them and say, well, why don't you just do it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna argue with that.
Yeah, it's totally true.
Just go ahead and do it.
I think it's like, just don't be scared. Because, like, you know, Jenette, you said that you used to have, like, a little bit of fear, like, oh, I'm not doing this right. And
For sure.
The thing is, like, no one knows what they're doing.
Yes.
You know what? If you're not doing it right, that means no one's doing it right. Because I think everyone has a completely different way that they approach things and different process.
If you know what you're doing all the time too, like you're not gonna do anything fun or different.
Okay.
How much time we got?
We've got an announcement.
AC is back.
Yay!
Yes.
See my mood
You
lift
guys,
up so
we
much.
have been here. I mean, I wish that these
come
people in
alive.
the chat could feel how hot it is in here. But like, it's like 90 degrees in this room. It's so hot, and they finally turned the air on. Oh my gosh.
My eyeballs were sweating.
I know.
Yes.
I felt that air come on. I was like, what's the hardest project you've worked on? These are hard questions. Good questions, but hard questions.
Hardest.
Ooh.
I'm not you guys. I know the question wasn't directed to me, but I think the hardest projects are the ones where they're like, you can do anything. And
Oh,
like, to me,
yes.
that's always
Yeah.
like,
That's a
too
turn off.
many
Like, I'll be
options.
like,
Yeah.
We just
nah,
like your
tell me
work.
what you
yeah,
want.
anything you do will be fine.
Yeah.
I think that's. Yeah, I agree.
So it goes to extremes. So you'll go from anything you do is all right to
Nothing
like,
you do.
I want to go ahead and have you do this and do that, and no, that's
Backseat
not
designer.
correct. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally true. Or like, they're like, yeah, anything is okay. And then, like you said, it's the change this, change that.
to me, hard means that either time or budget isn't that reasonable, but I can see that project being pushed more than the actual client can see it.
Yep. That's a very good question.
The only animation I did in Flash, Thuggy. The only animation I did in Flash was in grad school. We had to create a commercial. So my grad school project was to rebrand Metro in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area. I did a good job because ever since I moved there into the area, it didn't make sense to me why everything was brown with a reverse type, white type on top of brown. So I was like, this is nation capital, it's America. Let's play around with some red, white, and blues. And
Nice.
so I rebranded the logo for Metro and did a whole bunch. Fell out of love with it once I did the research. Begged my professor, could I change it? They said nay, so I just went ahead and finished it up. You might be able to find it.
Check the interwebs.
Yeah, you might be able to
Jenette,
find
someone says they want your drawing as a neon sign.
Me too.
I could totally see that.
Is anybody a maker
Like
out
flashing.
there? I won't say no. Yeah.
I know. Who wants
It's
to?
one at a time, like together
yeah,
forever,
that'd
and then
be so
like
cool. Or whatever.
it. Make it animate on a shirt.
Ooh, yeah.
you know wearables.
Yeah. I actually, speaking of Flash, I met a guy last week. I was in New York talking to some illustrators, and he illustrates with the pen tool in Flash, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It's because it kind of works as like I think, Jenna, I think you were saying, I don't remember, but it kind of works like the shape builder tool, or like you can do a lot more, or like Pathfinder, I guess, more like it. It's kind of cool. Someone's asking, Rob, do you live in the Netherlands? I find it hard to find clients interested in illustration.
Oh, they're all over the place. Illustration is really, really huge right now. But no, I don't live in the Netherlands.
How much time do we got left? We don't have much time. Like 15 minutes, maybe? 10 minutes?
15.
The pressure's on.
15 minutes? No problem.
It's whatever.
Yeah, we got
Together
this.
forever,
We
whatever.
got this.
We're together for the next 3 days.
Yes,
Yeah,
you know.
that is true. Except for me. I'm only here for the next day.
Oh really?
Yeah,
Oh.
I know.
So our first conversation in New York started from me saying something. What was it?
Ooh, is this trivia time?
To Jenette.
Ooh.
Me? Our first. Wait, why?
Our first conversation
What
started
do I
with
get
me.
if I get this right?
Huh?
A t-shirt.
Friendship? Oh.
Right?
We'll be friends forever.
Wait, I think I know. Where did that come from though? Your ears were wet.
Yes.
Yes.
We just walked through Central
It's
Park.
so weird, but yeah, I was just like, because we hadn't spoken that much before, and I just heard, just like as I do, overheards, and I was like, my ears are so wet. And I was just like,
My ears are, yeah, I just kept saying that, like, oh, because
Is that inspiration for
sweat was
maybe
just like right
tomorrow's
behind
It
it.
thing?
should have been. It's lost inspiration. I never wrote it down. But
I know.
It could have been today's T-shirt.
I know. That's
So
such a good
relatable.
one.
So many people are gonna be like,
So Brad is asking about the flow if you start with capture. He says, I have some cityscapes that I want to color. So, Rob, you use capture for, you said you use it for logos for a project you recently did. How did you?
He was asking in reference to cityscapes?
Yeah, so he said he has some cityscapes that he wants to
cityscapes is hard
I
to say.
cannot. Yeah.
Cityscapes.
Cityscapes he wants to capture.
color.
Color. Oh yeah, capture would be perfect because it will outline everything out. Now, in one of these, there's also, I'm trying to think of which app, but isn't there one where you can create the grid based on
The live perspective capture.
Yeah. So that might be up your alley too.
Yeah, cool. So you can if you've used capture to capture the cityscape, then you can save it to a Creative Cloud library, and then you can actually just access that directly in Draw. So you could bring that in, stamp it onto the canvas, and the way that you would stamp it onto the canvas is you would double tap it. You would double tap the capture shape, and then you could do the long press to change the color. So Rob, you're going to show it right now?
Show it right now. So
Right
here,
here, right now.
there are some wings. We can put some wings behind.
And you made these in capture.
Made these in capture. I think I went in Illustrator and then brought them back into capture. But I can take this and I can double stamp it, and
there you go.
I'm ready to go.
And then if you want to recolor it, then you just choose a different color and you'd long press on it, yeah?
If you do it immediately, it will recolor the whole thing. Oh, no.
Oh, because it's
Used
a
to be.
separate shape.
Yeah, it used to be. Well, I do that a lot too. Have it separated like that, and then do the individual stuff. I just got a shout out from FWMJ, and he created this extra black shirt that I have on.
Nice.
But you can get busy with it any way that you want right there.
Yeah, that's awesome. So for those of you who are curious about what Capture is another one of Adobe's free mobile apps that allows you to capture things like it's the feature that we were just talking about is kind of like Live Trace in Illustrator, so you can take a picture and you can turn that into a vector object. You can capture colors, color themes. You can capture patterns, which is kind of cool. You can create patterns. You can make brushes that you can use in Sketch, which is free raster painting tool. All right, we've got 15, probably 10 minutes left at this point.
10 minutes?
You know what? We give away a Creative Cloud subscription.
Oh, cool. We're going to give away a Creative Cloud subscription. And what do they have to do?
So if they subscribe to the Creative Cloud YouTube channel, they will get 5 times more chances to win.
Ooh, if you subscribe to the Creative Cloud channel.
Yeah.
Nice.
And they need to type a keyword.
The keyword should be what program Rob is using right now.
Do that.
For sobriety?
I think.
I might have students watching.
So we make it
Yeah. Cool. And if you subscribe to the Creative Cloud channel, you get you're 5 times more likely to win at the Creative Cloud subscription. I want someone to. I'm hoping there's a neon sign maker that's listening in the chat right now. They should.
That'd be so
I
dope.
know, that's
That'd be
hip right
so
now.
cool.
Oh wait, okay.
That's all I can think about.
Okay, so I always end up saving the outline versions of everything and like putting it on the side. And honestly, I've never gone back to it before, but the security of knowing it's there is always good. And then I outline the strokes, and then I go in and play with it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, this is like I've never gone back to this off artboard, but like knowing it's there is like I can play now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just gonna join some lines.
Cool. Do we have Nightbot coming up here?
In 1 minute.
In 1 minute. Cool.
Nightbot.
So just to plug for our next 2 people, we've got Orlando and Chrissy on after Rob and Jennet. And then earlier this morning we had Kyle Webster on.
So
And
behind you, you have the work of
oh, yeah.
Christian.
Yeah, dope. Let me duck.
I know, it's really cool.
Yo, where's a green T-shirt? I can make myself disappear.
I can
Cool.
find one.
So, and you guys are here for the next couple of days. So
Yeah.
It's like
through
Adobe Camp.
Thursday. Yeah,
Stoked.
Adobe Camp. I like
Adobe
it.
Camp. It's a little less intense than the Make It thing.
Yeah.
But
That
the
was
cool
intense.
thing about Make It was
Yeah.
those 2 days felt like a week.
Oh my
Really?
gosh, yeah.
It felt like a week. Like
I don't know
it,
if it was because we were underground, or if
Yeah,
everything
it was
super
dark in there.
saturated. We
Yeah.
were literally underground, and it was an underground operation.
yeah,
Yeah.
it just felt like the days were longer.
Yeah.
That's
agreed.
also when we lost Prince.
Yeah, that's true.
When I look back
Yeah,
at
that's
my
what I'm talking about.
first sketches from Adobe Sketch,
Mhm.
the first thing I drew was Prince because we were just
Oh yeah,
me and
'cause we just
Kervin-
heard that news.
Shout out to Kervin.
Yeah.
We were just getting lunch and it was just like, oh my god, and I couldn't think about anything else. So I realized it was the day Prince died too because I was looking
Yep.
back at my folders yesterday.
Yep.
I heard from Will.
Crazy.
Will was
We
like,
all remember where we were.
I know.
yeah. And then the first thing I thought about was my wife because she's like a super Prince fan.
Yeah.
Okay, Nightbot.
All right, Nightbot's here.
We have Ryan.
Ryan
Ford.
Ford is won the giveaway. Congrats, Ryan. You get Creative Cloud free for a year. That's a pretty rad.
Yeah.
Oh, check this out.
Cloak of invisibility.
That's so good.
Wow, you have like your own shrine behind you.
Yeah.
Oh.
I love it.
It feels good now that the air is on. I wouldn't dare do this with the air off.
Oh man. Oh, the fun you can have with a green screen.
And when you're fast at drawing,
Yeah.
he's all done. I'm plating.
Oh, check out. We just had the work. Their work behind you.
I want to thank y'all for inviting me to this. This has been
Yeah,
fun
this has been
today.
Super fun.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for
Yeah,
you know,
the
bringing
alley
me
oop.
on. Yeah.
The alley oop. When he asked me,
Cool.
I was like, "Yo, I know too."
Yeah. And just a reminder, guys, if you've been designing or drawing with us, post it to Twitter, Instagram, or Behance with the hashtag Adobe Live. If you're drawing mobily, do hashtag Make It on Mobile. And we've been seeing a lot of really cool work coming up. Oh, I like, what are you doing to the teeth?
I'm giving him a gold tooth.
Nice.
Oh, the detail. You're so quick.
That gold in there.
Those skills.
Yeah. Now, are you using a blend mode on that, or is the opacity just reduced?
My shadow layers are actually floating on top of my
Okay.
my solid or flat
Gotcha.
color layer.
Cool.
Almost like comic book artists,
Mm-hmm.
because they'll lay down the black and whites and then
Yep.
put everything on top.
So Ricky says, dude, this is awesome. I love both of these. Sorry I popped in late. What programs are you guys using? You guys want to let us know? Jenette, what are you using?
So I'm just Illustrator now. I started with taking a photo on my iPhone, sending it to my iPad, and going in Adobe Sketch, filling out the line work there, using Sketch to send it to my computer, and go into Illustrator. So
Nice. She's using all the tools.
Yeah.
And Rob?
I am using Adobe Draw. Sketch and everything was done in Adobe Draw.
Cool.
Reference photos was found on Adobe Stock.
Oh, nice. Cool. We have someone asking if either of you guys do online classes.
I'm thinking about doing a Skillshare this
Oh,
summer.
nice. That'd be awesome. I'd do it. I'd take it.
Yeah.
Skillshare did reach out, I think, a while ago to me, but then I thought about it, and I was like, and you kind of see today, a lot of my process is just me sitting there staring and thinking. So once I develop a real process, I think that'd be a great idea. But
Speaking of which, have
nobody
y'all
should pay for
seen
that.
Abstract on Netflix?
No,
Yes.
I just heard about it, though.
Oh my gosh.
Tinker, though,
Yes. It's
really, really
awesome.
good.
It's awesome. And the first episode is of a illustrator from Berlin.
Oh, cool.
And his process is crazy.
Cool. Yeah. Really, really
I know. I
recommend
added
that.
it to my I want to watch this list.
It's like Chef's Table, but for
Yeah. Oh man, I love Chef's
designers.
Table.
I think it's important for people to see like how designers work, especially the ones that work on the projects that you're like, oh shoot, yeah, like who did design Kanye's stage or Beyonce's like whatever, and it's really like it's very like relatable. It's a girl sitting behind a desk with a stack of paper,
Oh yeah.
like thinking about things.
Yeah.
Oh, Brian Yap's in the house.
There he is.
How's it going?
That's that dude.
Yeah. Oh, I lost the question. There was a good question that I just saw. Oh, someone was asking, Val said, is this going to be on every Tuesday? This is actually happening for the next 2 days. There's Brian.
Yeah.
I love it when people photo bomb or video bomb. So these guys are actually on for the next 2 days. You're here through Thursday. We've got Kyle Webster from 9 to 11. We've got Rob and Jennet from 11 to 1. And we've got Orlando and Chrissy from 1 to 3 for the next 2 days through Thursday. So join in.
Yeah. Come hang out with us. We'll get
Come
you in
hang.
trouble. We'll get you in trouble.
You can even
Guarantee.
win a t-shirt.
Yeah, we'll get you in trouble.
It's like listening to podcasts at work, which I do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do. When Kyle was on, I turned it on in the background and I was working. It's super fun. Ooh, Ricky says, I work in architecture and do a lot of rendering. Definitely getting draw. Mucho gracias. Nice. I'm glad we talked some people into it.
Yeah.
And it's free. That's the best part. That's what I love. And if you listen and you get lucky, you could win a Creative Cloud subscription like Ryan just did. Oh, you guys have so much love. People are telling you how amazing you are.
Things are like looking up now because it's cooler in here, so like my
I
spirits
know.
are
Yes.
lifting.
I know, we're all happier. We're
the
smiling.
dropping
So
of the
lucky.
temperature.
You're so lucky. You get the air conditioner.
Yeah. So are we looking at the end pieces now? Are these like mostly finished?
I'm like at the point where, you know, if someone says stop, I'm cool,
You're
but
cool
I
with
could
it.
also keep going for like 2 more hours.
I feel like that's the struggle, right? Like for me, that's always the struggle. It's like, well, you know, like sometimes you just need someone to be like, time's up, you're done. Otherwise, I'll fiddle with stuff forever.
Yeah, fiddling is 90%.
I'm just critiquing mine. Like, my strokes are too thick.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Thicker than normal?
Yeah. But it's all good.
Oh, Rob,
Those
your
eyes,
strokes
though.
are beautiful.
Thank you.
Hi, Rob. Do you use paper for illustration or only the tablet?
For this time, only the tablet. But I find myself drawing more on paper. But the funny thing with paper is, I start to pinch the paper to see if I can zoom into it. And
Awesome.
then I look around to see if anyone caught me pinch zooming
Pinching
paper.
your paper.
That's a real
Yeah.
problem. Have you ever dropped something on your drafting table and then like my fingers for Command Z, like immediately I spilled my coffee the other day and I was like,
So
like
good.
I 2 fingers swiped.
yes,
Um,
nerd problems.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I can't undo that. Like,
Oh, it's
there's
so
an eraser
bad.
on the back of
If
the
only
pencil.
life were more
The
like
struggle is real.
more like Adobe.
Adobe paper. Hashtag Adobe paper.
Yeah. Cool. Kate says, I'm late to this video, but is it possible to see the sketch before and after? Both Jennet and Rob's work are amazing. Do we have, like, is there a way that people can watch it,
Replays.
the replay?
Yeah, it's on the YouTube Creative Cloud channel.
Cool. So YouTube Creative Cloud channel.
I know what
check
he's
it out,
about to
Kate.
type.
You can.
Exclamation point.
Nice.
And we can,
Replay.
we have to wrap up.
All right, we're gonna wrap up, guys. Thanks for joining today. This
Yeah,
is
man.
awesome.
Thanks for having me.
We got 2 more days of this. Cool. Orlando and Chrissy are up next. And we'll
So
be
these are
back
going to
on
be sent to
tomorrow,
the
same
printer?
time. I think so. Are we printing all these? Or no? Just
Oh,
one? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So
All
see you in
right.
5 minutes
See you
on
guys.
Adobe Live.